Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and today we're going to be playing some more Standard in Strixhaven, the newest set that came out. And what we're going to look at is a Boros Winota deck that I found off Twitter, a retweet from Fire Shoes. Fortunately, don't have who it originally came from. I could try to dig it up for the comments, but it's basically a white-based shell with Winota. Whenever you attack with a non-human, you have to look at the top 6 cards and put a human tapped and attacking into play. And what we got in Strixhaven is Blade Historian. All our attacking creatures have double strike, so it's a nice way to kind of combo kill your opponent. We also have Paulo Vito Damarosa's card. Excuse me, that was a lot of words in one sentence. Elite Spellbinder. So it's kind of a tax card. You look at their hand, put a card into exile. They can still cast it, but it costs 2 more. So it's a nice way to kind of delay like a board wipe or something like that. It's also an evasive body, which is nice. And what was interesting in this version, they are playing Professor of Symbology. It's a 2-mana creature that allows you to learn. And in the sideboard, we have Spirit Summoning, which allows us to have a nice curve 2 into 3. And then have a 3/2 token that would also trigger Winota. So you can do potentially a curve of like Selfless Savior into Professor, into that Lesson card, into Winota, and then hopefully kill them with like Blade Historians and Kenrith and stuff. Wrapping up the deck, we have a bunch of 1-drops. We have some Bone Crushers, some Skyclaves for interaction, and then Kenrith is just a nice mana sink on the top end. What I want to see with this deck is they are playing 3 Faceless Havens. So how that works just in terms of our mana, we are trying to cast a quad red-white card, so we'll see with that. I made just a couple changes to the sideboard. I cut an Ox, and I forget what else I cut, but I put in 2 Roiling Vortex. I just really like having these in against Sultai Ultimatum. But that's pretty much the deck, so let's give it a shot. This deck looks competitive enough that we can probably take it to the Mythic ladder. Traditional Standard. But yeah, let's throw some Winotas to the wall. See how many times we could whiff off Winota. So I hope you're enjoying the new content. I've been having a lot of fun with Historic. We haven't explored too much in Standard. So we are trying some games here. If you do have any good Standard decks, ideally not just here's 50 adventure cards thrown together in a deck, or I added Professor Onyx to Sultai Ultimatum. Do let me know in the comments. I appreciate all the support thus far. Got a ton of subs on YouTube. But please, if you can still, drop a like, comment, and if you haven't done so already, if you can, subscribe. They're all free and easy ways to help out the channel. So opponents on the play, they are a professional Magic player. We are on the draw. But let's see how this feels. Too many lands. Okay. Okay. I think we put Blade Historian back. Mono red might be a bit of an issue here. But if we're able to curve out, like next turn we can attack with this. I can boast. Okay, we're not attacking. We're just taking this damage. The reason is we boast and then they just kill both our things, which isn't really a favorable exchange. It's not a huge amount of pressure. It's probably one of the harder matchups, I would imagine, just having burn-based removal. So they go Annex. Let's see if we can take a Cleave out of their hand. Always have it. Would have preferred you on top. you know, could have had one cleave. Just taking the damage here. We need to try to have a good Winota hit. 14, 15. Alright, 1 damage. Watch this be like Fireblade Charger, their last card. So I'm going to shuffle because we had a Blade Historian in the bottom. Tell me they have a removal spell. They have lethal. If they have removal, they just target their own Fireblade and they kill me. Wow. Talk about draws. Okay, you're a human anyways, so... Fireblade would have been 8, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, so it wouldn't have been lethal. So red caps, glass caskets. Redain's actually pretty good against them. So we can trim a couple of these, I think. Trim a couple of these. Do I want Giant Killer? So we need to have enough to trigger here. Two more cuts. This goes over the top, which is nice and can interact with like getting cleaves. But we have like Redain, which I think is better overall. Question is, do I want the Giant Killers? Probably. Seems just strictly better. Alright. We'll keep one in. We can still like learn. That was a hand from the opponent. If they only had like the one cleave, we could have taken the cleave. Okay. This plays out a bit nicer. So if they don't have a 1-drop, I could learn, or... I think we're just taking this. Activate here. With Robber... I think we block here. If we had Winota, for the tokens you make Human Warrior, so they don't trigger anyways. We can go Blade Historian next turn, which is nice. So we'll see if they drop Annex here. Phoenix of Ash. Do I care about that? Not really. I'd rather they don't get cards off the top of my library. Let's get a red source here. So guess we can attack with both. They can trade here. Hope they don't have a Thought this was a 2/4. Torbrand's a problem. Definitely a problem. I kind of want to use Kenrith when we can protect it. So with this in the air, they could pump once, it goes to 4, it does 6. They can attack with both, cleave kills me. I think we just have to do this. It's the most mana efficient line. That's what I was worried about. Our mana base is a bit awkward as well. I can't activate. So this is actually interesting. Because with this, so this attacks, it's 8, 9, 10. $13, $14. Should have probably got the Phoenix out instead of Robber. Okay, so that's best case for us. Protection from red here. Ember Cleave kills me. Do they have 2 pumps? They have 2 pumps. That also kills me. Winota, not too hot. This is always like, with Winota decks, when you can draw the Winotas, they're great. When you can't, you generally kind of get these awkward situations. I think in that matchup, like, I still think it was right to play Kenrith that turn. If we just went with the other guy, you're spending a lot of mana to not really do much. We were a couple points of damage short. Okay, so Yorian. So we do have the curve I explained, where we go Professor if we want into the other card, the lesson. We may end up going Professor into Spellbinder to attack their hand. See how this goes. Overall, with like Strixhaven thus far, Historic's been a blast to play. So many cool new strategies. Largely speaking, I haven't been too enamored with Standard. So it's likely Sultai alt. Yeah, Sultai alt. Yeah, I think we go Spellbinder here. We want to take them off a potential sweeper. Also gives us information to know when we can play our Winota. I'm going to continue to hide that we have red mana in our deck. That's because Chariot, Shadow's Verdict. Well, we need to take the Shadow's Verdict, otherwise that hits us next turn. They do have the ability the hand. So I can go Spellbinder here, but I think I want to wait a turn. Just see if we can try to juke them here. Because I can go Spellbinder, take their ultimatum after they Shadow's Verdict this turn. Actually, they can't Shadow's Verdict this turn. 7 mana. So now we're going to take this from their hand. Chariot. That's fine. I mean, we do this, they Shadow's Verdict, and then I Kenrith with haste. So now they have to block. So I hit him for 6. Dead. Got him. Alright, so this is Roiling Vortex in, Redain in. Do I want Ox? I don't think so. Actually, keep Bone Crushers, get rid of Skyclave. Is that just the straight cut? Probably. They're probably going to bring in more sweepers, but like their sweepers aren't as good against us. Human, Spirit Warrior, Nymph. I think maybe cut one of these, play 1 Ox. Alright, so we did Winota things. That was a pretty nice one. Blade Historian smashing its way through. Be interested to see Blade Historian in like a mono white shell with Maul the Skyclave. I guess we go Dog, because if we draw a red source, we can do that. If not, we can go Dog, Crack. Bit awkward of a hand here. Where he draw? I think if we can take them off the ramp, we do it. Could potentially see Extinction Event here. Elspeth's Nightmare. So we gotta get this down. We could have binding, which would suck, but this just gets hit otherwise. Your turn late. They binding here. That takes their whole turn. I can throw a Winota out. Wouldn't mind either like another 1 or 2 drop, because then I could stomp, take them off that mana. I think we might go spell. Ooh. Okay, well. That's probably GG. Heartless. let's just go to the next game. Okay, so they brought Gargs in. Let's play some giant killers instead of all seeds. Think we just do it largely the same. We didn't have an answer for Gargaroth. There's no point. Like turn 4 Gargaroth, the way our board was set up, we're not going to do anything. It's not the fastest start, but Stomp into Redain's pretty good. You can also go Stomp into Bone Crusher Giant. If they go Florahedron, we have the option there. That's our turn 3 play. I want to scout what type of removal they have. I still think we do that. It seems... No, you know what? This presents more of a clock. Depending if they have black mana up or not, I can Winota next turn. Which is intriguing. I think we attack first. Yeah. This doesn't trigger Winota, but it can get around a sweeper perhaps, or all runs and Chariot. Okay, so their hand's pretty bad. I just go Redain next turn. It further slows down their spells. Just try to tax him out of the game here. Kenny's a nice one. I want to keep this because it's better with haste later in the game. So they go Nightmare there. It's a nice draw on their part. So they got a turn, they can go all runs Epiphany. And then they can drop Chariot, which soaks up some damage. Hoping no extinction event. So this gains haste, and then we attack with everything. Kenrith gives trample, so we win that way. Alright, Winota win. Winota. Let's try this in best of one. Give it one best of one game, see how it goes. So the next thing against Sultai ult, they usually bring in like Shadow's Verdict, and we have stuff ahead on curve, so it allows us to at least get around that range. This hand's too slow, I think. Okay, this hand's better. Let's put this back. Play the Snarl from hand. So this could be mono white, could be Winota, could be life gain. Ooh, black white. What do we have in black white? Hallow Blade. Okay, deck. Deck. Between you and me, we can stop drawing lands. So we have the answer. There's a lot of lands in this deck. 25, 26. So we go Aspirant here, exile the Hallow Blade. Still pretty far behind here. Winota off the top would actually be great. So the nice thing is, like, at any given point we could kind of just win. If their turns just like activate this, put a counter on it, we're pretty happy. Because they don't really have good attacks right now. We can do this. But I think we'll probably just do this, see what's in their hand. Because then this lets me play 5 mana the following turn. Okay, so it's like black-white hate bear style. Wonder if they name Winota. They could just name Skyclave Apparition again. That's not unreasonable. Spelling our opponent's greatest weakness. Come on. Blade Historian. That's fine. That's actually pretty good. Vanishing Verse and Luris. Well, those are both awful. Can I get a Winota? Like one-time Winota? So they can go Luris here. Actually don't hate that on their part, to be honest. Put counters on it, just start getting it pretty big. 8%. 8%. Winota gives us 3 triggers right now. think we're gonna take the chance to trade here. It pops the Savior. So saving this here feels better. But it's not even that great because then they just make this 4. Can we like stop? Oh no. The stupid sideboard, how it's arranged, doesn't have the learn cards in the best of one. Stupid ass game. Okay, we're still live to Winota. 8%. 8%. Kenny's also pretty nice. I'll pay 3 life to cast Blade Historian. Just take 5 here. Okay, so one thing, if you are playing this deck in best of one, move the lesson cards to the top part. Okay, whatever. We're too far behind at this point. They're holding up removal or something. Somehow went up 1% there. Cool. Alright, Boros Winota. What do we think? As with all Winota decks, when you draw Winota, it is impressive. When you don't, it is kind of lackluster. I think instead of this Professor, I would rather just play Luminarch Aspirant and then get rid of the lessons and just play actual good cards in your sideboard. This was largely unimpressive. But the shell itself is pretty good. I was impressed with the Spellbinder. Blade Historian kind of steals games for you. So definitely something to further explore. Appreciate everyone stopping by for this video, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.